All right, welcome everybody live. It's Betting Weekly Hardball on a Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock in the East, 11 o'clock in the Pacific, and 8 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii or wherever you are, whatever time. You probably know what time it is wherever you are. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Wes Reynolds. Wes, how are you? How you doing today? What's going on?
I'm well. We are starting really college football getting underway officially tonight, even though we did have a few appetizers for week 0, as they call it. But excited for that. And, man, busiest time of the year now. Baseball underway, the playoff chases, which we're going to get into, NFL. A week from tonight, we will officially begin week number 1 of the 2025 season. So excited for all this stuff that's going on.
I'm super pumped, and I'm a much bigger NFL fan than I am a college football fan. But Ohio State, Texas on Saturday, I mean, it doesn't get better than that for an August game.
We have a lot of great Notre Dame, Miami, old rivalry, LSU, Clemson. So many big games in week 1 because that's been a criticism. It's like, oh, man, we get all these Power 4 teams playing, Group of 5 or FCS teams. Not so much this time around. The next 5 days through Monday night, through Labor Day, we are going to have big-time college football.
Is it the best week 1 ever before we get to baseball here?
It's got to be one of them because you have several high-profile matchups. You usually only have 1, maybe 2. I forgot Alabama, Florida State as well should be a big game. And, of course, Coach Corso saying goodbye to his television career this weekend. So Lee Corso coached my alma mater, Indiana, when I was a very young boy. So, congratulations to Coach on a wonderful career. So I will be watching on Saturday.
All right, not a lot of high-profile matchups in Major League Baseball today. In fact, there's only 8 games on the docket, and all 8, or none of the 8, feature 2 teams over 500. So there are no games today with playoff teams playing each other, but it doesn't mean there aren't some good bets that you can make on this day. And so if you're thinking about making a bet, we're here to help you. We're here to advise you. You can jump in the YouTube chat, ask a question, put in a comment. Let's start with the game that's going on right now. One game in action. Boston just took a 2-1 lead over the Orioles in the top half of the 4th inning on a Rob Refsnyder home run. They lead it 2-1 with the Orioles coming to bat in the bottom of the 4th. Garrett Crochet on the hill for Boston. Crochet 3 innings so far, 1 run, 3 Ks, 2 hits, and no walks. High pitch total through 354 pitches for him. Anything in game here you like, Wes?
Nothing for me as of now. Red Sox, by the way, trying to complete the sweep here. They are number 1 currently in the AL wildcard. Still, I believe, 4 games back of the Blue Jays, who continue to play very well, leading the American League East. But Red Sox, Yankees, Mariners right now, your 3 wild card teams, and then Kansas City 3 back. So still some teams on the outside looking in that maybe have a chance, but now it's go time. You got to go now if you're Kansas City, Texas, or Cleveland. But Red Sox continue to play well, and they're getting a Baltimore team that I think when you look at the lineup, a lot of young guys in this lineup, a lot of guys that were called up. They, of course, were big-time sellers at the deadline. So they haven't hit at all this series. They've been shut down by Brian Bello, and were shut down the game before. And Crochet, even with the high pitch total, certainly doing a very good job. He's still, I think, on pace, even with that high pitch total, to probably go 6.
If you had to bet on one of the teams not in the playoffs in the American League, Kansas City, Texas, Cleveland, I guess you could say Tampa Bay. If you had to bet on one of them to make the playoffs, who would you bet on?
Probably the Rangers. I think, and that's not just because they had, 20 runs last night against the Halos, but I trust their pitching at the top end a little bit more, and I trust their hitting, like with the exception of last night. Kansas City got shut down by Shane Smith and Martin Perez.
Yeah.
So their approach at the plate has been a little bit lacking. Cleveland, I think, has been up and down some of that starting pitching, and the bullpen certainly still good, but not dominant by any stretch of the imagination. And really, when you look, Adam, and I know part of that was last night's blowout score,
Yeah.
20-3, but the Rangers plus 80 in run differential and Cleveland minus 55.
Yeah.
And yet there's only a half a game separating them right now. So I would say probably the Rangers would be the team.
I'd be with you on Texas. I feel like it's even less likely with the news late last night that Nathan Eovaldi is out for the season, and he's been their best pitcher. Obviously, they have DeGrom. They've been a huge disappointment this year. If I had to bet on any of them, though, even with the Eovaldi injury, I'd still take Texas.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them are going. I think the teams that are in the wild card right now will be the wild card teams. For Cleveland and Texas, I mean, you'd have to win 2/3 of your games the rest of the season. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't either. And Merrill Kelly, since he's been acquired from Arizona, has been solid. But Jack Leiter, it's like, nah, you kind of got to take the chains off the kid because they've only basically been letting him go 5 innings.
Yeah.
And now without Nate Eovaldi, because you're not letting Patrick Corbin get the 3rd time through the order. And Latz was solid last night, but he's the back end guy. So this is where losing Eovaldi, I think, maybe is the death blow, I guess, for that team. But of those 3, I'd have more confidence in them than I would Kansas City or Cleveland at this point.
All right, let's get to the next game on the docket. That's in 2 National League teams, including the best team in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. They went through about a week-long slump. They've bounced back here with 2 wins in a row. They host the Diamondbacks. That game is going to start. I'm sorry. No, the Brewers had won 2 in a row. Then they lost yesterday. So they've won 2 of 3. But overall, they have not been playing well for, the outside. They've gone, 4 and 6 in their last 10 after they had just been unstoppable forever. So we'll see. But they're just about to start the game and throw the first pitch. Diamondbacks and Brewers. Quintana on the hill for the Brewers. Journeyman Nabil Crismatt will be on the hill for Arizona. Any play for you in this one?
Nothing for me because I'm not sure how long Crismatt is going to go.
Yeah.
If this is going to be a bullpen game or not for them. And Brewers, even with the slump, still have a lot of distance between them and other teams. Quintana, 17.5. That is a lot, but this is an Arizona lineup that this might be getaway day for these teams. And, tough to risk it, even though the over did get bet, surprisingly. But I'm going to take a pass on this one. Milwaukee, they're very hard to go against. There have been times I've tried to get in front of them on this streak and did not work out. So a little bit of support for the over this morning, though. It did go to 9 with some juice to the under, but this is going to be a stay away for me.
So this game is just underway. Also just underway, the Rockies and the Astros. Astros come into action today as the leader in the American League West by a game and a half, although they have not been, neither them nor the Mariners have been playing particularly well of late, but still 13 games over 500 heading into this one. Like I said, just underway. Jason Alexander has actually pitched fairly well for them, is on the hill facing Kyle Freeland and his 5.31 ERA in the Rockies. And he played for you in this one.
Yeah, and it seems like they've been giving Jason Alexander at least a little bit more of a leash in terms of these starts. He wasn't getting it when he first got into the rotation, but now he is getting it. And I think a little bit that's out of necessity, Adam, because of the injuries, because of, of course, Blanco's been out and Garcia, and they're still trying to get like Spencer Arrighetti back to where he certainly, has the capability of being. And we know Valdez and Brown are workhorses, so they're trying to get a little bit more depth out of Alexander. So that's why you've seen his recorded outs that used to be always 15.5 go to 16.5 and even sometimes 17.5. But nothing for me. Look, I don't make it a habit of betting the Rockies, so I've been saving myself some money in that regard, even though they did get him the other night. Nothing for me. I think the move to the total on the under from 9 to 8.5 is probably the correct move, with this being a getaway or early game for these teams.
Just some interesting notes on Jason Alexander you may want to use. Since being acquired by the Astros from the Athletics, he has made 8 starts for the Astros. He's gone 6 or more innings, 5 of those 8 starts. As you said, he was going deeper into games, and you're right. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 7 of those 8 starts. And the Astros are 7-1, and they've won 5 in a row when he has started the team. The Astros, have, for whatever reason, sometimes this happens, the Astros run total in the last 5 Jason Alexander starts, 7, 8, 7, 5, 7. So for whatever reason, they have scored a ton of runs when he has pitched his last 5 times out.
Yeah, and they're gonna get a crack here in the first. A very quick inning, by the way. 2 strikeouts for Jason Alexander already. So nothing in the first frame for the Rockies.
And the Orioles blew a great opportunity in the top of the 4th, in the bottom of the 4th in Baltimore. They down 1. They had first and second, nobody out, and they do not score in that one. Another game just about to start. The Pirates and the Cardinals. Here's a game featuring 2 teams under 500. They'll start momentarily. The pitching matchup in this game between the Pirates and the Cardinals, you've got Braxton Ashcraft on the hill for the Pirates. You got Miles Michaelis on the hill for the Cardinals. He's not having a good season. Ashcraft, meanwhile, has pitched really well since, he's pitched well for a while, but since going into the rotation here, his 2 starts, the last one was against the Rockies, but the one before that against the Cubs, although the Cubs haven't been hitting in August. In those 2 starts, 10 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, and 10 strikeouts. What do you make of him?
Yeah, he has been effective. They're not going to get the Ashcraft Chandler that they've been doing a little bit. They've been, shortening Ashcraft and then bringing in Bubba Chandler for the middle of the innings. Well, they did that last night. So bullpen a little bit taxed, if you want to look at it that way, for the Pirates. So maybe we do get a little bit of extra length. I actually like the first 5 under here. At 4.5. Worry a little bit about the bullpen usage late. Sonny Gray, by the way, did go over 7 last night. So Cardinals bullpen should be fresh. And Miles Michaelis basically only goes like 5 innings. Now they don't really let him see the 3rd time through the order. So under 4.5 for the first 5 for me. Both these teams, by the way, got to travel. Pittsburgh will start in Fenway tomorrow. Paul Skeen's on the bump for the opener on Friday. And then St. Louis, early first pitch tomorrow in Cincinnati for my Reds that come back with a very bad West Coast road trip as they got absolutely hammered by the Dodgers in a 3-game series.
By the way, Miles Michaelis, his first full year after, he pitched a little with Texas and San Diego. Then he went over to Japan, I believe. And he came back, signed with the Cardinals in 2018. He was very good in 2018. And then from 2019 to 2023, he was pretty solid. But last year, he had a negative WAR and a 5.35 ERA. This year, a negative WAR, a 5.17 ERA. He just turned 37. Could this be the end of Miles Michaelis? What do you think?
Boy, it very well could be. Yeah. He's just not a guy that, number one, he's never really been, I think, a big strikeout pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. But, is a good guy at getting ground balls. But he's been getting himself into a lot of jams this year and just not a guy that you could necessarily trust. And you can't have, unless you've got like really elite stuff, you can't have a guy just be a 5-inning pitcher. If you want to save that bullpen and not wear them out by this time of year where some of these bullpens are really just dragging, that's why I think, probably the end of the line, the Cardinals, and that's why they've been, working McGreevy a lot and trying to work these young arms because there's going to be some empty spots in that rotation next year.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. There's going to be a lot of empty spots, period. The Cardinals got to do a entire rebuild, I think. Folks, you can win a $100 bonus bet today from Bet Rivers. Enter the social media exclusive giveaway on Bet Rivers' Instagram account for your chance to win a $100 bonus bet. I'd like to get a free $100. I can't, but you can. Go to Bet Rivers on Instagram and enter right now. All right, 4 games underway or just about to get underway. 4 games coming up later in the day. One of them starting in about an hour and a half, and that's the Cubs and Giants in San Francisco. It looked like the Cubs have been riding the ship, but the Giants take the first 2 games of this series. They beat up Matthew Boyd. They beat up Colin Ray. Great pitching matchup today. Shota Imanaga against Logan Webb. in San Francisco as the Giants are going for the sweep here. Do you think they get it?
Yeah, Cubs, by the way, getting the money here this morning just simply because I think it's the anti-sweep angle, right? It's like, well, they're right in it. They're not going to get swept by the Giants, but tough for me to back the Cubs in this spot, though, with Shota, because we know, and you follow this team very closely, Adam, we know that there's some regression, or we still feel like there's some coming for Shota. Shota, by the way, at 212 batting average balls in play. League average is about right a little bit under 300. Man, he seems like he's been a little bit lucky. 3.03 ERA, but a 4.48 on the xFIP. And you're going against a pretty steady Eddie pitcher in Logan Webb. You kind of know what you're going to get out of this guy. There's a couple starts where he's not there, but basically all of his starts, he's going 6 innings strong at least. So I guess I'm not surprised at the move, but boy, doesn't this seem cheap on Logan Webb at home here with the move at 112 at Bet Rivers. So definitely not a play on the Cubs. I would lean Giants here. I'm still kind of looking at some more numbers, but I haven't decided if I want to play that or not, because clearly the Cubs have obviously a lot more to play for, considering they're right at the top of the wild card heap and need the Brewers to really struggle, which they're not. By the way, a leadoff home run for Sam Frelick. So they are up 1-0. So nothing on the Cubs for me, even though the market is certainly moving that way.
Would you think about the run line under 3.5 runs for the first 5 innings, minus 113? What you think about that?
That would be the way. That would be the way I would probably lean.
Yeah,
3.5 is obviously, I'm not breaking any news here, but it's obviously very tough to get that because so many random things can happen, and like when you have like 2 real aces, I think you could certainly do that. Not that these guys are bad pitchers by any stretch of the imagination, but man, I'm gonna, I don't. I think if you made me, that'd be the way I would go, because I could see this being 1-1 going into like the 6th, but nothing for me on that one.
You mentioned that the Brewers took a 1-0 lead on a Frelick home run. The Astros, we were just talking about how they score a ton of runs when Alexander pitches. They scored a run in the first inning as well on a 2-out solo home run by Jose Altuve. So they lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
A lot of runs the first inning here too, as Tommy Pham just takes Miles Michaelis yard. I
like that.
With 1 out in the first. So all the Yurfies good today.
I like it, and I got Tommy Pham on my fantasy team, so I'll take that home run. That'll be nice. All right, let's get to the next game on the schedule. Games that are going on this evening. There's not many of them, but there are 3. We'll start 6:45 Eastern. Braves and Phillies in Philadelphia. I say Braves and Phillies, and I think, before we started all the games, I said there's no quality matchups. And in my mind, when I said Braves and Phillies, I was like, oh, I was wrong. The Braves are playing the Phillies. But the Braves have been terrible. It's still hard to wrap your head around the Braves being bad because they so rarely are. But they have been this year. Cal Quantrill was just acquired off of waivers by the Braves. Will face Aaron Nola. And Nola's had a terrible season, as we know. His last start, solid against Washington. But with the injury to Zach Wheeler done for the year, they really need Aaron Nola. I'm not saying to get back to what he was at his best, because that's not realistic, but they needed him to at least be serviceable, or they're in some trouble in the pitching staff.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, but that's my question. It's like, can they get him to serviceable?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't think that that's for certain by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at this here, I'm going to go Aaron Nola, and I'm just checking the number. I want to check the number here at Bet Rivers first. Yep. Aaron Nola. What's the under recorded outs here? I was looking at that, and
we've got
maybe debating.
Aaron Nola over 17.5 is minus 165. 167.
Yeah. I think that's priced in because This might be where he gives them some length here,
Right?
Where they kind of need him to, because this Braves lineup so inconsistent all year long, and where it's like, are they kind of just going through the motions at this standpoint? Because Atlanta, who I think's been the most disappointing, I think there was a lot of expectations for the Braves. I know they had some injuries, but yeah, this team to me, they're just kind of playing out the string here, and sometimes you'll get good performances, sometimes you won't. So Nola does probably give them some length. I don't want to lay the over there at that price, but I think you're going to see Nola give length. So if you find hits allowed in your markets, that'd certainly be an area I would look at.
I would say the 4 biggest teams that were disappointments this year are the Braves, the Diamondbacks, the Orioles, and the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have the Braves number 1 of that, or would you have the Orioles number 1? Maybe
I would probably have the Braves number 1. And I know that division, both East divisions are certainly competitive. But look, high expectations for the Mets, high expectations for the Phillies, but the Braves were right there, because look, there's talent on this team, and at the top, it would look like the pitching staff would be great. Chris Sale obviously gets hurt. Spencer Strider, has certainly had his ups and downs this year, but Schwellenbach gets hurt. So just the injuries took their toll on this team, but you certainly expected better.
Now 2-0 Astros, as Altuve and Christian Walker went back-to-back in the bottom of the first with 2 outs and nobody on. So good start for the Astros in that one. All right, let's get to the final 2 games on the schedule tonight. We'll start with another National League East game, and that's the Marlins and the Mets, 7:10 Eastern. Mets coming off a nice 3-game sweep of the Phillies. Clay Holmes will be on the hill. Adam Mazur making the start for the Marlins. Is this Mets or pass here, or stay away, or what do you got?
And not a lot of props up for Mazur, because you don't know how long he's going to go,
right,
or what the pitch count is going to be. So that's why you see a lot of the books not posting that, because if you're unsure, they're unsure. So not seeing that. Mets pretty good series against the Phillies, even though they're still behind in the division. Clay Holmes been solid in spots, I think, this year, but maybe a little tinge of regression coming, but no play for me here on this one. Just not knowing how long Mazur's going to go, and how much of a bullpen game this is going to be on the Marlins side.
Clay Holmes over 16.5 outs at -107. I don't know. He just doesn't go deep into games, though.
Yeah. I would 15.5 might be worth a stab, but at 16.5, I'm going to take a pass on that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Holmes, and the Mets in general don't go deep into games. He's only got his last start. He actually went 6 1/3 against the Braves. Before that, he hadn't gone more than 5 1/3, because he's got to go 5 2/3 here, right? If my math is correct.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to go 5 2. Before his last start, he had gone 3, 9, 11, 12. There'd been 12 starts in a row where he did not go more than 5 1/3 before his last start. So
it's almost not quite the Brian Wu streak of going 6 innings, which by the way got snapped yesterday.
It did
against San Diego, as he had the bases loaded there in the 6th, and couldn't get there. But look, now's the time where these high leverage bullpen guys just so valuable, and that's why you saw these trades at the deadline, like why you saw the Padres stack up relievers, because they know they're going to need them in this race.
Yeah, Yankees and Mets too. The Orioles, I told you, blew an opportunity in the bottom of the 4th. Then the Red Sox got a leadoff double. Top of the 5th, didn't score. Bottom of the 5th, the Orioles have come through. They've just tied the game and threatening to take the lead. Alex Jackson hit by a pitch. Jackson Holiday had an infield single, and Jeremiah Jackson with an RBI double to tie the game. And the Orioles have 2nd and 3rd, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. It's not been Garrett Crochet's best effort today. 4 innings so far, 6 hits, 2 runs, 4 Ks, no walks, but he's already at 76 pitches, and there's nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. So you don't expect to see that from him, especially against the struggling Orioles team, but that's what we've got. All right, final game of the day. We've got the Yankees, who only beat bad teams, playing a bad team in the Chicago White Sox. The game's in Chicago. Will Warren will pitch for the Yankees. Davis Martin will pitch for the White Sox. Will Warren had been pitching well before his last start. He had 5 straight, good, solid starts. But the last time out against Boston, he got destroyed. Gave up 5 runs, 10 base runners in 4 innings. I don't trust him, but I'm certainly not going to bet on the White Sox. Anything for you in this game?
Yeah, I was taking a look at this. Will Warren, now he's having trouble getting through 5.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it against St. Louis. Couldn't do it against Boston. And they pulled him, didn't even let him see the 5th. I was looking to see, what are his props? And, 15.5 by and large, juice to the under. I think that's probably honestly about right for Will Warren, because he had been seeing some 16.5 numbers and even some 17.5s, especially against the lower teams, which certainly the White Sox are. But I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Boone really trusts Will Warren here at this standpoint to say, maybe he is just like, okay, give us 5 solid, guy, and be done with it. So nothing for me, at least on a pitching prop standpoint. I do lean a little bit over at 9. And that is the 8.5s. There were a couple, I think, out there this morning that disappeared. So at Bet Rivers right now, by the way, that over 9, I believe, minus 118 to the under, so minus 106 to the over. That probably be the way, if I bet this game, that I would look is with the over. White Sox, say for last night, had been hitting the ball a little bit, and certainly had been shutting down Kansas City, but different bird here with the Yankees coming into town. I think that they're going to be able to play enough runs. So this would be over 9 or nothing for me on this side. No real movement to the Yankee side, by the way. It's a big price delay, even with them on the road with Warren on the bump.
By the way, the Yankees, in their last 17 games against teams over 500, now they're playing a bad team today, but Yankees 5-12 in their last 17 games against teams over 500. But they've played well against the bad teams. They've done that. They've done a good job, and that's why ultimately they're very likely to make the playoffs. All right, folks, I want to tell you this. If you like what you hear on our shows, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, Betting Weekly Hardball, Betting Weekly Fast Break, which is coming your way in less than 30 minutes. Get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Let's recap four of the 8 games that are going on right now. Bottom of the 5th in Baltimore, it is 2-2. The Orioles have runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. The Astros lead the Rockies 2-0. That game heading to the bottom of the 2nd in Houston. The Brewers lead the Diamondbacks 1-0. Diamondbacks are threatening in the top of the 2nd. They have the bases loaded, nobody out. A single, and a walk. So bases loaded, nobody out for Arizona. With Tyler Locklear, their number 7 hitter, coming up against Quintana in the 2nd. And the Pirates lead the Cardinals 1-0 in the bottom of the 1st. You mentioned earlier a solo home run from Tommy Pham plates the lone run. So there you go. All right, let's recap what you've got going on in Major League Baseball, Wes, today.
Yeah, the under first 5 under that I did play with the Cardinals and the Pirates, 1-0 here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 1st. So I do have that. And what I'm looking at for the night, haven't bet that, but the over, I think, in the Yankee game at 9 with reduced juice to the over. There were some 8.5s in the overnight, and those quickly disappeared. But anything under like minus 110 to the over, I think at least is worth a look, certainly on the Yankees and the White Sox. And then other games, nothing really much standing out to me. A small lean to the Giants over Imanaga and the Cubs, but not enough for a play for me.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, folks. Bet wisely. You don't have to bet on every game, remember, but be smart about it. But some good picks here today that look really good on a short slate. Keep an eye on the games that are going on right now. Thanks to Chris and Max for producing today's show. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. For Wes, I'm Adam. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Betting Weekly Hardball, Betting Weekly Fast Break, coming your way at 3 o'clock Eastern. See you, everybody.